Ethan Cole was worth billions. But tonight, he wasn't stepping into a boardroom. He was stepping into a greasy burger joint, wearing scuffed boots, a wrinkled flannel, and a baseball cap that hid his face. He wasn't here for the food. He was here because of a rumor. A rumor that his newly acquired restaurant chain was falling apart, and that the people running it were treating workers like dirt. Ethan believed in one thing. If you want to fix a broken company, you start where the cracks are. Down on the floor. Where no one knows your name. He pushed open the door. The smell of fryer grease hit him. Behind the counter, a cashier leaned on the register board. Her name tag said, Tiffany. And when she saw Ethan, she smirked. What do you want, old man?" she said, loud enough for the staff to hear. A few chuckles came from the back. Ethan didn't flinch. "Just a burger," he replied. Calm. Steady. Watching. Tiffany rolled her eyes. "Hope you can afford it," she muttered. Ethan pulled a crumpled 20 from his pocket. He didn't look offended. He looked observant. As he waited, Ethan scanned the place. One worker was wiping tables alone. Another struggled to carry heavy boxes while a manager barked orders. And no one looked happy to be there. When his food came, Tiffany practically tossed it onto the counter. Next, she snapped. Ethan held her gaze for half a second. And then, he smiled. The kind of smile that meant trouble, for the right people. Ethan sat in the corner. He didn't eat. He watched. He saw workers moving like ghosts, exhausted, overworked, ignored. And the managers? They didn't lift a finger to help. That's when he saw her. A young woman in the kitchen. Dark circles under her eyes. Balancing 3 trays at once. When she stumbled, the manager laughed. Ethan's jaw tightened. He made a note in his head. He wasn't just a billionaire. He was a man who remembered faces. And he was about to remember hers. Hours later, Ethan returned. Not as a customer. But as a new hire. Old boots. Flannel shirt. And a fake application that said Ethan Cross. The manager barely looked at him. "Just don't screw up," he grunted. And that was it. No welcome. No training. Just a mop shoved into his hands. Ethan started scrubbing floors. He didn't complain. But every second, he watched. Every cruel word. Every corner cut. Every manager who laughed at their own employees. By his second shift, Ethan had seen enough. Tiffany mocked an older worker for moving too slow. The kitchen lead dumped an order in the trash and blamed a trainee. And the worst part? Everyone acted like it was normal. But Ethan didn't get angry. He got curious. Who was protecting these people? Where was the district manager? Why was no one paying attention? The answer came on his third shift. A man in a suit, cold, arrogant, strolled in. Mr. Dalton. The district manager. He didn't even glance at the workers. "Just the registers, numbers are down," Dalton barked. "If this keeps up, hours are getting cut." No one spoke. They didn't dare. Not with him in the room. Ethan said nothing. Not yet. He just wrung out his mop. And kept watching. That night, Ethan saw something he couldn't ignore. The young woman from the kitchen, her name was Mia, stayed late to clean. When she clocked out, she checked her phone. And whispered, "Rent's due." Ethan's gut twisted. This wasn't business. This was survival. And the people running this place? They were leeches. The next day, Tiffany cornered Mia. "Hey, you missed a spot," she sneered. Then she dumped a bucket of fries onto the floor. On purpose. "Pick it up, rookie." Ethan's grip on the mop tightened. He wanted to step in. But not yet, not until he could burn the whole rotten structure. To the ground. 2 nights later, it happened. Ethan came in early. Mia was there, scrubbing counters. Dalton was in the back office. And Tiffany? Laughing like she owned the place. Ethan dropped the mop. And for the first time, he stood tall. Really tall. He walked into the office. Dalton looked up, irritated. "Who are you?" Ethan reached into his pocket. And dropped a single piece of paper on the desk. It was the ownership contract. Signed. Stamped. And very, very real. Dalton froze. Ethan leaned in. "My name," he said quietly, "is Ethan Cole. And this?" He gestured to the restaurant. "Is mine." Dalton's face drained of color. Ethan straightened his shoulders. "You've got 30 seconds, he said. "To explain why my employees are terrified of you." The room went silent. Dalton stammered. For the first time, he didn't sound powerful. He sounded small. Ethan didn't yell. He didn't need to. He simply turned. and walked back out into the restaurant. Everyone stared. Mia's eyes went wide. Tiffany dropped a fry basket. Ethan just smiled. "Team meeting," he said. "Now." The workers gathered. Ethan laid it out. "Things change tonight," he told them. "No more threats. No more games. You're not invisible anymore." For a moment, no one spoke. Then Mia, quiet, trembling, asked, "Are you really the owner?" Ethan nodded. And for the first time, Mia smiled. A real smile. One that looked like hope. Dalton stormed out of the office. "This is a joke," he hissed. But no one was laughing anymore. The next morning, the burger joint felt different. No shouting. No insults. Just quiet whispers as workers stole glances at Ethan. Word had spread fast. The janitor was the billionaire owner. And the tyrant manager? Gone. But Ethan knew this was only round one. Dalton wasn't the real problem. He was just a symptom. The disease was higher up. Mia walked up, hesitant. "Mr. Cole, what happens now?" Ethan smiled. "Now? We rebuild. And we start with you." He handed her a clipboard. "New shift lead," he said. Her eyes went wide. "Me?" Ethan nodded. "You've earned it." For the first time in years? Mia looked proud. "And Tiffany?" She stood frozen at the counter, watching. Ethan turned to her. "You're still here," he said. She straightened up fast. "Yes, sir." He didn't smile. "Then prove you belong." The crew watched. Some smirked. For once, Tiffany wasn't in control. Ethan was. By noon, the place was running smoother. Ethan jumped in, wiping tables, flipping burgers, greeting customers. And for the first time, the crew followed his lead. Block 10. But just as the day felt normal, a black SUV pulled up. 2 men in suits stepped out. And the air shifted. Ethan didn't flinch. He recognized one of them. Victor Hayes. Regional Director. Dalton's boss. And the man in the car from last night. Hayes walked in like he owned the place. "Mr. Cole," he said smoothly. "I was hoping this little visit was just a rumor." Ethan stepped forward. "No rumor," he said. Hayes smiled thinly. "Then let's talk outside. Privately." The crew froze. Mia looked nervous. But Ethan? He was calm. He followed Hayes out. Outside, Hayes dropped the mask. "You're playing a dangerous game," he said. "These stores run the way they run for a reason." Ethan leaned in. "No. They run this way because you let it happen." Hayes smirked. "And you think you'll fix it? One mop bucket at a time." Ethan didn't raise his voice. "Watch me." Hayes chuckled. "You've made a mistake, Cole. This chain, it's a machine. You can't fight it." Ethan's jaw tightened. "Machines break," he said. "Especially when the wrong men are holding the screws." Hayes's smirk faded. For the first time, he looked worried. Ethan stepped closer. "I own this company now. Every store. Every paycheck. If you've been bleeding this place dry." He paused. "I'll find out." Hayes didn't answer. But his silence was loud enough. Ethan turned to leave. But before he did, he looked back. "Clock's ticking, Hayes." Back inside, Mia was waiting. "So?" she asked. Ethan smiled faintly. "Just the beginning." Over the next week, everything changed. Ethan replaced broken equipment. He gave raises where they were long overdue. And the workers? They stopped looking beaten down. They started looking proud. Tiffany was different, too. No more snide remarks. Now she said, "Yes, sir, and thank you." It wasn't fear. It was respect. Ethan didn't humiliate her. He gave her a second chance. One night, as the store closed, Mia lingered. "You didn't have to do this," she said. Ethan shrugged. "Yeah, I did." She smiled. "You know, nobody's ever cared before." Ethan looked at her. "I'm not nobody, Mia. And neither are you." But outside, that black SUV drove by again. Hayes didn't come in this time. He just watched. Ethan saw him. And this time, he didn't look away. He opened the door, stepped outside, and stared Hayes down. No words. Just a quiet warning. "I'm not done." Hayes's SUV rolled away. Ethan smiled. Because this battle was already won. 2 weeks later, the chain's headquarters called an emergency meeting. Hayes was gone. Dalton was out. And Ethan Cole? He was the name on every memo. He returned to the burger joint one last time. Not in disguise. This time, in a suit. The crew applauded. Mia grinned. You clean up nice, boss. Ethan chuckled. Don't get used to it. Flannel's still more fun. The place that once felt broken was alive again. And for the first time in a long time, so was Ethan. Because it was never about burgers. It was about people. The ones no one else saw. He turned to the crew. One last thing, he said. They leaned in. You keep this place running, right? And I'll keep my promise. This will never happen again. And for the first time, they believed him. Outside, the night was quiet. Ethan looked up at the glowing sign. A small restaurant? But it was where the change began. He smiled. And for once, he wasn't just the man who owned it. He was the man who saved it. Justice wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. Sometimes, it just looked like a man in a flannel shirt, and a crew who finally got their second chance. Thank you for watching until the end. If you loved this story, hit subscribe, and click the next video on your screen. I promise, you'll love that one too.